Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Very Biased Opinions. It is Ian and Thomas with you for another round of Premier League predictions. And I've got to say, officially, the football season ended for me yesterday, Thomas. So I'm going to be less than infused doing this one. Thank you very much, Accrington Stanley. But I'm not bitter about it. Let's just get into the first game, which is Manchester City versus Leeds United.
I mean, this on paper looks like a really good game because Leeds just don't think anyone's better than them, so they're definitely not going to change their tactics. Also, really quickly, I have to apologize to everyone listening to this. My voice is ruined. Obviously, I've been on the lash for 2 straight weeks. That's why you haven't seen me on any of the live streams recently. I've been drunk in a gutter. But moving on from there, I think it's going to be a really good game. I think City are going to win it. What do you think, Ian?
City are going to win it. Of course they are. They're only a couple of games away from winning the league now. They're just going to be too... I think there'll be some... Leeds will give them some scary moments, no doubt. But City will do what they always do, just control the game. And they'll probably... I think they'll win it 3-1.
Yeah, I like that prediction. I will go with a 4-2 thriller to the citizens. Brighton and Hove Albion versus Everton.
I don't see this one being quite as compelling, though, Thomas. I don't see this one being quite as open as we think Man City versus Leeds is going to be. Once again, Brighton and Hove Albion, they only got themselves to blame. 1-0 up against Man United. Playing well against Man United. Only seemed to throw it away. But speaking of teams that threw it away, Everton, they looked like they were the team that were going to capitalise on everyone else's misfortune this weekend and get right back in the race. But they blew a seemingly... They were absolutely all over Palace, but they only scored 1 goal, and Palace sucker punched them at the end. I don't think there's going to be many goals in this game.
Absolutely not, Ian. I'm going to have to go with the draw. Brighton and Hove Albion are their own worst enemies. They even got Danny Welbeck a goal, and they still couldn't put it away against Man United. Complete control, and they blew it. And Everton just seem to be missing something for the Champions League, and I don't think they're going to get it. So I'll go with the 1-1 draw.
It's called consistency. I'm gonna go. I'm loath to back Brighton, which is probably where I'm gonna fall down. I'm gonna go Everton, sneak it. I'm gonna go 1-0 Everton.
Okay, Ian, it's time for me to thank all of our Patreon backers. We have a Patreon account. If you're enjoying this, please do go over to Patreon. Our lowest membership, the League 2 membership, is only £3 a month. It means the world to us for you to support us. But at the bare minimum, please do like this video and subscribe. But thank you to David Stenhouse, PJ Simpson, Matthew Bowden, Robert Allen, and our collaborators, Grandstand Bettors. Check us out on either a Friday night or a Saturday night, depending on the video itself, for predictions that we do with Grandstand Bettors. But thank you to all of our Patreon backers. And without further ado, let's move on to Burnley versus Newcastle United.
Wow, Newcastle actually showed a little bit of spirit, Thomas. I thought they were dead and buried. I think everybody did, but they came out against Tottenham. They looked really good. They had a lot more energy about them. They created chances. They really should have won the game if it wasn't for their usual slack bits of defending, which just let Harry Kane in for a couple of goals. But they definitely deserved at least a point from it. They got it. They seemed like they rejuvenated their season again. But this is a massive game that, if results go against Burnley, could drag them back into this relegation picture, because they were 2-0 up against Saints, managed to lose that game 3-2, and if they lose this one to Newcastle, could be a bit of a worry. But I have a feeling you're going to be looking at a draw here.
You know, Ian, I'm actually going to go with the Newcastle loss. For me, I've seen them do this multiple times.
I thought you were going to say Newcastle win, and I would have been shocked.
No, not at all. We've seen Newcastle a couple times this season put in a really decent performance. You're like, oh, Steve Bruce has turned the corner. He knows what he's got to do. I think all Steve Bruce needs to do is, not have a heart attack, and Newcastle will probably stay up because no one below them seems capable of picking up points when they need to. I can't believe Burnley threw that result away. But in Sean Dyche, we trust all the time, and they never put in a truly bad performance. I don't think they will with this, so I'm going to go with a Burnley 2-1 victory over the Geordies.
Yeah, they'll be smarting after that defeat, no doubt about it. And no doubt Dyche would have been livid with his players after throwing away a 2-0 lead. But I just fancy Newcastle to get something. Callum Wilson might be back as well. That's a big thing for them. I just fancy them to nick a draw. I'm going to go for another And I don't think this will be an entertaining game, but I'm going to go 2-2.
World's most boring 2-2 draw.
Yes.
Crystal Palace versus Chelsea.
What happened to Chelsea?
I think we should have seen the Chelsea result coming. I mean, Big Sam had 2 weeks to work with a team of non-international players, as far as I can tell, and teach them how to defend and how to sit still. But I don't understand. Like, Chelsea have a man sent off. I think they were winning at that point with the man off, and just complete capitulation in the second half. It's not a common occurrence. I don't think it's something we should bet on happening again, personally. And so I won't be. I don't believe in this Crystal Palace team, and Chelsea are a machine generally. So 1-0 to the Blues.
Yeah, that sounds about right, doesn't it? You imagine Tuchel will just literally be... they already talked about how he's had fall-ins out with some of the players after that game, so I imagine they'll be desperate to like really shore things up at the back for this one. And yeah, just inexplicable how Thiago Silva got sent off, and I think it was like virtually half time, and then they conceded like 2 goals just before half time in about 30 seconds. It was absolutely crazy turnaround. The Palace got a decent 1-1 draw. They continued to pick up points, but I don't think they'll get anything here. I'll go for one more in the Chelsea column. 2-0 Chelsea. Fulham versus Wolverhampton Wanderers.
A huge game for these teams. Fulham really need to win. They threw it away against Aston Villa. What's his face? Scott Parker was furious with them after the game. They were up 1-0 in like the 80th minute, and they managed to lose 3-1. And it's not unforgivable, right? Because they're Fulham, but that win would have done wonders for them. Wolves, on the other hand, threw away a game against West Ham. So 2 teams that are probably pretty angry with themselves in this and thought they could have gotten something out of it. It's just tough. I want to hear you talk about it before I make a prediction.
Yeah, I'll just say that I'm going to disagree with both things that you said there. I think it is pretty much unforgivable. Fulham was so comfortable in that game. So comfortable. You can't afford to, when you finally do go a goal up in a game, to just take your foot off the gas like that and just allow Villa back into it. Yes, there were a couple of good goals that Villa scored, but they were avoidable from a Fulham point of view. And when you're desperate for points, you need to win when you're in the ascendancy in games. Wolves, on the other hand, they nearly did what Arsenal did the week before. They were 3-0 down against West Ham, got it back to 3-2. They just couldn't force that third goal. It's not been a great season for them, but I just don't fancy Fulham now to win games. I think this one's going to be a draw. I'm going for 1-1.
Shock result, 2-1 to Fulham. Relegation fight back on.
Do you know, I actually hope it is. I hope it is, because I want to see that relegation battle go to the wire. So it'd be really good if Fulham could get a victory in that one. Liverpool versus Aston Villa.
So this is the match, right? Like Villa, there was it 4-1 or 4-0 last time these two sides played. Villa coming up a really good.
Was it like
5,
7, wasn't it, or 6?
It was a lot of goals. It's very little goals, and
hell yeah,
I'm pretty excited to watch this game personally. I think it's gonna be a great match. I still don't think Liverpool are back to their best. A couple of good games, but obviously Liverpool's game against Arsenal was Liverpool versus League 2 bottom of the table Tranmere. Tranmere aren't that bad. Sorry, this is cruel. Sorry, I've gone off topic. Anyway, Liverpool didn't play a very good team last week. Aston Villa did really well to come back against Fulham. I think it's going to be a great game. I think Liverpool will win. I think it'll be 3-1 to Liverpool.
Yeah, I think Liverpool will win as well. They look a lot better. They just look like, again, we come back to saying it now, Klopp's actually playing players in the right position. They do look a lot better. And I said it last week, but Kabak is looking like a decent defender again. And when they've got like the midfield like they have, they were back to controlling the game. And I know we'll talk about Arsenal when we get to it. They were dreadful, but they controlled that game from start to finish. It was 7-2 when these two sides met at Villa Park, Thomas. Ollie Watkins show, but Villa did manage to pull out a win. I mean, what the fuck's wrong with some Villa fans? Calling for Dean Smith to be fired when they're 1-0 down against Fulham. Nuts. Absolutely. You stayed up by the skin of your teeth last season, and this season you're nowhere near relegation, and improved immensely. And yes, you've got one guy that's head and shoulders above the rest of the team, but the rest of the team is still pretty good. And Dean Smith's doing a good job. So give him a bit of a respite, will you? It's not all Villa fans, it's just a few of the vocal. The ones that are annoyed shout the loudest, though, don't they?
They do indeed.
Liverpool 2, Aston Villa 0. An amazing thing happened last week in predictions, folks. No, I didn't win, but I didn't lose. I managed to get a draw. It ended up 5-5. So that for me is like winning 3 rounds of predictions this season, the way it's going. But that does mean that this round, Thomas, is double points.
I was let down by teams like Everton, as you were. I was let down by Chelsea, like you were. I was let down by Okay, so we were let down pretty much equally. It's gonna be a really exciting round. I'm hyped.
Good. And nothing makes you more hyped than Sheffield United versus Arsenal.
I cannot wait for Sheffield United to pick up points against Arsenal and Arsenal fans to absolutely lose their mind. They were pathetic against Liverpool. They do this all the time. Arsenal fans, you need to stop thinking you're the best club in the world when you win a football match. You're not. You're a team of prima donnas, unlikable prima donnas at that, and you cannot put form together, and your manager cannot build the defense because he thinks his team is Man City, and you are not Man City. You are nowhere close to Man City. You are mid-table mediocrity, and stay there and stop thinking you're more than that. Sheffield United, you're incredibly boring. This is going to be 0-0.
Arsenal, you were right. Arsenal were pathetic against Liverpool, but Sheffield United are pathetic. So I don't think Arsenal are going to have to be too strong for them because on their day, I would say they're pretty much the best side in the world. And I'm going to say it's going to be Sheffield United 0, Arsenal 5.
West Bromwich Albion versus Southampton.
Oh, where did that result come from? For which team? I could say either one of them were needed a win and both of them got it. But West Brom beating Chelsea by 5-2 was the biggest shock. If anybody backed that, then congratulations to you. You deserve all the money that you won because this was an absolutely nuts result. A really good performance. I feel it's come too late, as everybody does, and I think even Big Sam thinks it has. But if they can back that up with another win against Southampton, they will start to believe they can go on a run and get out of it. But Saints desperately needed to get that win. They did it the hard way against Burnley. They did look good when they went forward, as you would expect. They just struggle a little bit defensively. But I don't know. I think I'm going to back... I can't back West Brom. I'm going to back Southampton. 2-1 win to the Saints.
Yeah, I mean, I've already kind of vaguely mentioned West Brom. Southampton, huge come from behind victory, really helped you out in the last round of predictions. If that hadn't happened, I would have won, Ian. So, well done, Southampton, for ruining my day. I think they'll win this as well. I don't think it's going to be as close as you have it. I think it's going to be 3-0 to the Saints.
West Ham United versus Leicester City.
Every time I think West Ham United are out of it, they come up with a really good game. They beat Wolves 3-2. Jesse Lingard, I mean, is he the world's greatest footballer, Ian? Is this...
Yeah, he's going to be in the Euros starting 11, unless he gets injured.
At this rate, he is. I mean, he's playing out of his skin right now.
I'm just going to say, because Southgate trusts him, and that's what he's going to pick the team on. Don't start. Don't have to start. You don't have to start. I know. I shouldn't have. That's Pandora's box. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have done that.
I'm calling myself. Tune in next week for our 9-hour rant about England's starting 11 and their bench and the players not there.
I'm sure you already know that, but that is Tom's biggest trigger is Gareth Southgate and the England side. But we're talking about West Ham versus Leicester.
Yeah, so West Ham, really big win. Fantastic result for them. Leicester lost to City. We both had them losing to City. I think everyone had them losing to City. Everyone is losing to City except Man United. I think Leicester will win this game. I don't think West Ham will get European football no matter how well they're playing. I just don't see it. So I'm going to go Leicester 2-1.
Let's have a bit of... I'm going to go the reverse. I will back the Hammers. I think they are looking really good. This one is a coin flip for me. It really could go either way. Two sides, they're not that far apart. I'd just say Leicester probably are a slightly better side, but it's not too... West Ham certainly aren't too far behind. No. Just probably don't... They probably just lack the strikers and the firepower that Leicester have, I would say. But they have got players in great form. And it'll be a tight game. It should be a good game, but I'm going for a West Ham win. Not only is it the final game of the weekend, not only is it a returning Jose Mourinho to his own stomping ground, it is also the away side trying to avenge a 6-1 defeat from earlier on in the season. That's right. It is time for the main event.
Tottenham Hotspur versus Manchester United.
Well, that's right. I mean, when that result happened earlier on in the season, you would have thought that it would be Tottenham would be the ones going for the league and Man United would be the ones swimming around just outside the Europa League spots. But it isn't the case. And the Red Devils have been easily the second best side in England this season. But to hear more about it, you don't want to hear it from me. You want to hear it from the resident expert Manchester United fan, Thomas Pickering.
Just really quickly, how many times are Man United going to be the second best team in the league behind Man City? I mean, it's painful. It hurts. United, really good come from behind victory against Brighton. You really have to question that first half performance, though. It was absolute garbage, but Pogba and Fernandes both played quite well in the second half and really dragged us along. Man United, and we spoke about this obviously, Ian, they do have a lot of leaders on the pitch that drag them along, and it makes up for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's complete incompetence that they are able to drag these results out like they are. I think United will still be smarting from that 6-1 loss, which I think is the last time Tottenham Hotspur even played good football this season after their debacle against Newcastle United and total inability to play. I don't think they're going to come out here and have a great game against Man United. I don't see it being 6-1 again. These two sides are moving in totally opposite directions right now. Spurs are slowly climbing up the table, but do they convince you, Ian?
No.
Oh, absolutely not. And I just think United have way too much talent, and especially now Pogba's back, you can pretty much put him anywhere except CDM, and he's going to have a good game. And with him and Fernandes on the pitch at the same time, United look incredible. And they got a goal from Mason Green, which is really important. So, United 3, Spurs 0.
Dinamo Zagreb away, Tottenham. Tom, that was the last time Tottenham played well. Look, it's a Spurs side that, again, had another false dawn. You thought they were it was their opportunity to get themselves right back into Champions League contention, and they would have been right on the heels of Chelsea if they'd have just beaten Newcastle, who can't beat anybody. But they played awful. They were terrible. They literally, if Harry Kane isn't dragging this team up by his bootlaces, dragging them through, this side would be they'd be where Arsenal are, really. They'd be like 10th, 11th, 12th in the league. And Kane is just, he is one of the, I don't know why he doesn't get talked about for player of the season for me. He is amazing. And he seems to get better every time you see it, not just as a goal scorer, but just as an all-round footballer. This guy deserves so much better than to be with Tottenham Hotspur, and I do hope he does make that move. But getting back to this one's got nothing to do with Jose. This one's all about Man United. They don't lose away from home. They always come back from behind for away from home as well. So Tottenham will get 1, but Man United will get 3. 3-1 Man United.
All that is left is to thank you all for watching this video. Please, if you enjoyed it, hit subscribe, check that you've got notifications turned on. Check out our Patreon. It really does mean the world to us when you guys subscribe and support us in that. Well, please, predictions down below. Let us know what you think is going to happen. Check out our League One predictions. They come out tomorrow. Check out our live stream. It should be Saturday at 3, unless something's changed. But I'm pretty sure it's Saturday at 3. We'll catch you tomorrow.